Salut tout le monde, c'est Chips en direct de Chengdu et j'ai la chance d'avoir avec moi John Needham, le boss monde de l'esport Riot avec une vue absolument exceptionnelle. Voilà, donc il est temps maintenant de passer à l'interview. Hello John, it's great to have you here. How are you, first of all, and because we are in Chengdu for the World Final, are you happy with how everything is going for this World?
Yeah, I think it's been amazing. This is like my favorite week of the year. This is the week where all the hard work during the year pays off. And I'm just super excited about finals, super excited about the opening ceremony too. It's going to be epic this year.
Didn't have the opportunity to see it yet, but I think I will go for it for rehearsals. It will be great. John, I have a lot of questions to ask about esport, of course. You are here for esport. First of all, of course, I'm French and I'm talking for the French community. I have a lot of questions about Europe and the future of LoL esport in Europe. Of course, Europe is a very singular continent with a lot of countries, small, middle countries with a lot of languages. So I would like to know what are the plans for the future of Europe, because we feel like the current state of EMEA Masters and ERL in general is coming to an end in some ways because some regional, some national leagues are going down, and it feels like we need a new cycle, you know, we need to regenerate things. So my question is, what are the plans for Riot for Europe, because it's a very singular continent, so it might be kind of hard to handle sometimes.
Yeah, well, when I started at Riot, I was managing director of Europe for the first 2-3 years at Riot. So I've lived in Europe years before I started at Riot. So I have a real kind of appreciation for the difference in culture across Europe, but yet how they're unified in a way as Europeans, right? Europe is a really important market to Riot, to League of Legends, to our esports. It has the most passionate fans, I think, on the planet. I think for me, it's either French fans or Spanish fans that are the most passionate, and I always love taking events there. We have been really proud of the ERL infrastructure. I know we have some challenges right now with LVP and some of our tournament organizers not being in the best place and producing some of our regional leagues. We will figure out a way to strengthen that. We have plans that I won't talk about today, but we'll talk about sometime this next year around how we can get more local with our sport and touch more fans. We really love the road trips this last year that we did with both K-Corp and Koi. And we saw great attendance, a lot of passion from our fans, and we saw that as indications of the future. You know, we just need to get out more and touch more fans. We need to try to open up our ecosystems more to allow new teams to come in and try to compete as well. So we have a lot of exciting plans for Europe. We don't have a lot to announce today, but just know Europe's a very important region to us. We love the diversity across Europe. I have a special affinity for it since I was there when the LEC started, and we have probably one of our best teams supporting League of Legends esports in Europe. So they constantly innovate, we constantly have challenges, and we will figure out how to evolve to kind of meet our fans' needs.
You just talked about opening more the LEC. I have a question about that. Some people are wondering if it can harm like business confidence in European ecosystem, because of course franchising means that you have your place here and you put money for it. But if you tend to open things, I mean, it can create a disruption, in fact, and maybe people could start to doubt about European ecosystem and to think that maybe it would be risky to invest there. What do you think about this take, and do you have any answer?
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the VCT and how we've organized Valorant esports, we learned a lot from the partnership model in League of Legends, and that the League of Legends partnership model constrains us in a lot of ways because the teams have paid good money to compete in our highest level of esports in Europe. So that makes us a little bit less flexible in how far we can open up the LEC, but we do think there are ways that are good ways, even for the teams who have bought in to the league, to bring in some new teams for a very short time to try to compete and just draw in more fans to watch the league and watch our competitions. So we're going to play around. We have a bunch of ideas on ways that we can balance both. But the ERLs have been a really important part of the success in Europe. When I look around the world, the regions that compete at the highest level have the best kind of regional league infrastructures. And I was really proud of what we built in Europe with all the different countries and the amount of professional players that they were churning out every year that were competing in the LEC. I pointed at that. If you go back and look at old interviews of mine, that is one of the most important accomplishments that we did, was building a talent pipeline. We always want to keep the dream alive for our players, that our best players can build a meaningful career playing League of Legends. So we will figure out, if we have issues with our tournament organizers, kind of how to piece the regional scene together in a way that keeps that hope alive for our players. Because at the end of the day, that's probably the most important things. For us.
And I think European fans have, of course, because of football, for example, European fans have these traditional things of teams going up from Division 2 and going down from Division 1. Would you say that, in fact, with the experience, would you say that going for franchising in Europe, maybe if you go back in time, would you do it again, or would you do things differently?
Probably not in the same way. I think we would allow for more flexibility in the structure, because I just think it's good for the league, you know, to be able to evolve. But I do think the partnership model that we have in League of Legends is a good one. It's just probably not the best one to allow us flexibility.
Okay. Another question about something that is very new, it's EWC. Of course, and the rise of third-party organizers. My question is it something very specific to EWC, or do you think it's something that could grow in the future to allow more other tournament organizers to come in the League of Legends ecosystem and to bring their own flow?
No, we very much want to open up our ecosystem more to allow for more third-party tournaments. We have the EWC. We think they do a good job with their tournament. We've also got Red Bull. They do League of One Zone. We have, when I looked at a list, we have about 20 partners in the West who do tournaments. A lot of them are just small. You don't hear about them. I think third-party tournaments are a really important part of what we want to do going forward, because first and foremost, they'll give our fans just a different flavor, a competition to enjoy. Our fans always want more international competitions, so this is a good way for us to deliver more international style competitions. And two, it's good for teams. This is a way for teams to get revenue in other ways not tied directly to our ecosystem, and we think that's really good thing for our pro players and our teams as well, because sustainability is still an important goal for us, and we're getting very close.
Yeah, sustainability, of course, it's very important. And about that, I think there are a lot of questions about the 3 splits format, because it was not what it's pretty new, in fact, in League of Legends ecosystem. So a lot of people are wondering, is it harming the national and regional competitivity, because splits are feeling the feeling is that it's very short, so you don't have time to establish things and to see stories grow. You always start and then you go to the end very fast. You got an international tournament, and then once again, do you think it's a good critique? And what's your answer to that?
Yeah, well, I think the LEC was the first to really innovate with this 3-split model a few years ago. We are happy with the 3-split model right now for a different reason, because it ties into the seasons that are happening with the game. One of the things that I'm trying to do in my new role is running publishing and esports is really synchronize game moments across all of our capabilities. So esports is a huge part of our business because our games are competitive at their core. And we want to inspire our players with the very best competitions, with the very best players on the planet. So esports will always be really core to the game experience. But we have other things. We have music and consumer products and big publishing beats and big things happening in game with new champions being launched. And the more that we can synchronize all those moments into kind of bigger cultural moments, more memorable moments for our fans, I think that's super important too. So we will constantly look at how the formats for our esports, the split structure, we've done a lot of changes over the years. We'll continue to look at that and figure out what's best for the sport, but it's also going to be partly what's best for the game too, and how do we bring all of our stuff together, our capabilities together into one time to create these moments for fans.
Are you aiming to find some stability in terms of format? Because for me as a broadcaster, every time we come to a new year, we have this show introducing the year, and we tell to people, okay, so now this year the format for this league is this one, and for this one it's different, and for the next split it will be different. Do you think it's a good thing to have so many different formats? Because usually in traditional sport, people know where they go. You know, right. For me, I will take my example for Champions League in Europe.
Yeah.
I know since 20 years that when I want to watch Champions League, it's on Tuesday and Wednesday, and every time at the same schedule. And I know that, you know, even if I don't follow the competition, I know that if I want to watch those games, it will be on those days, on those times. And with LoL esports, it feels kind of, it's not easy always to know where you go, so people can get confused about that.
Yeah, one, I think that's mostly a failure in our ability to market our sports. You know, we know we are really good game marketers, and we know how to do marketing around games. We haven't quite dialed in the basics of sports marketing, and one of the basics of sports marketing is letting your fans know when matches are happening, why they're important, what both teams are kind of bringing to the competition. And we'll continue to work on that now that we have put esports and publishing together in one org. We call it Pub Sports. I think we'll get better at letting our fans know when our matches are, who's playing, and why they should watch. As far as whether we're going to change our formats, we look at our community and we look at feedback from the community, and that really guides us. I can't tell you that we're not going to change. I mean, we have LEC Versus happening this next year. It's a new thing. We had a bunch of change this year with Fearless Draft and some of the things we tried. We do have different formats and structures with different regional leagues around the world because there are different consumption habits for esports. Like in Asia, there's a lot of really team-focused viewership of specific teams in Asia. We kind of have that in the LEC with a few of the teams like K-Corp that has such rabid fan bases, but we have a lot of fans who watch it all, you know, and that's kind of, it's different for sports. I only follow a few teams in American sports, but I watch all the LEC usually. So I can't promise we won't have changes. We will continue to try to dial in what's right for the fans, but those tastes constantly change. The structure of the game, what's happening in the game is constantly changing. So there's just a lot that we're kind of reacting to and try to respond to deliver the best fan experience. I don't know. Hopefully we land one day on a structure that will last for a long time. But right now, we're still experimenting and trying to optimize.
Is it a goal for you to have a uniform format for everyone? Like every league plays with the same format, so people can find it very easy to look at LoL esports.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd asked me that 3 or 4 years ago, I'd say definitely yes. Yeah. But I've grown to appreciate that our fans in Korea, they just watch esports differently than our fans in Europe and in North America and in Brazil. So we really try to adapt our formats and our structure for our leagues to what our fans' expectations are. And in Korea, they watch every night. You know, in the LPL, I think they broadcast 6 nights a week of LPL, something like that. So
7, even a lot of time.
Yeah, and so, you know, that fan consumption pattern is really what we want to look to.
Yeah, makes sense. It makes sense, of course. You talked about the balance between publishing and esports. What are your challenges to make it work the best? Because before that, publishing was on its own and esport on its own. So I think you are still managing to make it work together.
Yeah, we haven't really perfected that yet. Like I mentioned, sports marketing is different than game marketing. And I think with publishing together now, we're going to be a lot more focused on how do we bring together what we're doing as far as publicizing what's happening in game and bring that holistically together with what's happening in our esports so we can connect the two and also deliver all the sports marketing we need to deliver to get people continue to watch the LEC.
I guess there is a head of publishing, like you are head of esport. So when you go to him and you say, hey, I want that this way, and you say, but I need to have it that way. So how do you manage to get things along?
Yeah, I mean, we have just finished reorganizing our international team specifically around products. So we don't have esports publishing people and game publishing people. We have League of Legends publishing people, and they're kind of doing everything in the region. So I think that will be very helpful in kind of combining the two things together.
Okay. One question about Riot's philosophy, because with Nicolo stepping down and the new CEO is Dylan. That's it, Dylan. People felt that there was a change in philosophy and that Riot wanted to go for esport going profitable, or at least going for zero, and do you think it's true? And what would you answer to people saying that Riot is investing less in esports than before and the philosophy changed?
Yeah, we're actually not. We're investing the same amount that we've invested in esports for over 10 years now. And it's a significant amount, and it's important, our esports investment, because it is our way of, one, providing that path to pro for our best players, two, inspiring our players to go and play. And we talk a lot about this play-watch loop. Watch esports, get inspired, go play the game. And we have a lot of science around that being a really effective way to engage our players over really long periods of time. So esports is one of our tools that we use to keep players engaged in playing the game longer and more. So that will always be the case. If you go back 4 years ago and you look at some of my interviews or my blogs, I was talking about sustainability before Dylan. Sustainability has always been an important goal for Riot with esports because we have teams, we have professional teams, we have players, right? We need to build a successful business out of esports for them. If we don't have teams and we don't have pro players, we don't have a sport. So the business and sustainability focus that we've always talked about around esports is because we think about esports the same way we think about games. We think about generations of players. We are in esports for the long term. We will make this a good, profitable business for our teams. We haven't quite gotten there yet, but I think we've learned a lot, and I think we've made a lot of progress in the past couple of years.
I have a bonus question about profitability for the team, because a lot of people are saying that when you look at other games, teams have more items in game, and it feels like a natural and easy way to make them profitable. Do you think it's something that is lacking in League of Legends? Are you working on more, maybe?
No, I mean, we launched this global revenue pool this year. Its purpose is exactly to get us more focused on digital revenue sources, on working with our game teams on more digital esports digital items. If you look at the top 10 most popular digital items in Riot's history for League of Legends, 6 of them are esports related.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So our players, they buy the esports items partly because they know it supports the esports teams, and they over-index in sales over most of the skin lines that we do. So you've seen over the past few years, we have Hall of Legends as a new skin line.
Yep.
We continue to build new digital products because we've shifted our business model to sharing digital revenues with teams, and we've just had great success in both League and Valorant with that.
Okay, and still going on, and you are...
it's great. Yeah,
okay.
We'll continue to leverage more digital.
Okay. Thank you, John. I think I've gone through all my questions. Do you have anything to say to the French community? You can look at the camera.
Thank you for all of your passion over the years. I love coming to France with our events because I know I'm going to get one of the most passionate, energetic crowds. It was funny this year at our first tournament, first stand in Seoul, Korea, K-Corp was there. We had to go outside of Lowell Park. The K-Corp fans were outside of the arena. They were making so much noise. They were bleeding into our broadcast inside the arena, and we had to go and quiet them down. So I love that kind of passion, and thank you for that. And France will always just be a very special place for our esport.
Does it make you want to go to France more for esport?
Of course, yeah. I mean, this is how we get our energy. It is, it's very hard doing esports all year. And these events are the events where we get to touch our fans, we get to see their passion for what we do and their passion for our games. That's really special to us. So yeah, I mean, we want to go to the places where we have the best fans, and France is definitely one of them.
Well, thank you, John.
Sure.
You answered to all my questions. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Cheers.